Yeah, I'm not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you about one more date that I got up and left in the middle of the date. This was a guy that I had met on a dating app, right? And it seemed good, great, terrific. We get to the restaurant, and he start his phone's dinging, and he's, I'm sorry, I got to get that. So he answers the phone, and he starts telling me, oh, it's my daughter, it's my daughter. And I said, oh, is everything okay? Now, I already did know that his daughter was an adult. He did have adult children. And I said, is everything okay? Oh, she's just, no, she's just being needy. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he put the phone down. And then a few minutes later, dinged again. He said, I'm sorry. And he got it, and he was reading it, and he was texting back, writing a whole paragraph. And then the phone rang, and he like hung up on it, not, instead of answering it, hung up. And then he started texting and telling this person something. I would assume the same person who's calling, right? So then I see that he turns his phone, the ringer, off, and he puts the phone down. I think, all right, he's putting this away. And a few minutes later, his phone's buzzing now, vibrating. And he said, I'm sorry. And he gets his phone out. Right about then, I put my glasses on. I got my, because I had taken my glasses off after I read the menu, and I was sitting there, and I thought we were going to have a nice conversation, but this phone kept interrupting. And I really started looking at him while he's busy texting. He had a suntan on his hand, but not where his wedding band would have been. He had that white stripe there, and he had the indentation in his fingers, in where the wedding band. You know. And I thought, huh, this guy's married. He's texting with his wife. And so I said, how long have you been divorced? Oh, years, years. I said, really? Years, he would not still have that impression on his finger, right? And he would have that little white discolored underneath his where his wedding band was. And it wasn't drastic, but it was enough noticeable. And I said, oh, okay. So he deals with the phone again, and he puts it down. I said, are you married? No, no, no. Now he's acting like I've caught, like a kid I've caught eating chocolate when he wasn't supposed to have any candy. And I said, and prior to this, he was a very commanding, you know, personality and spoke commanding. But when I said, are you married? His whole demeanor changed up, like a little kid. And I said, you are married. Well, it's complicated. I said, complicated. So you are married. Well, yeah, we're separated. I said, on the dating app, you said you were divorced, and you just told me you've been divorced for years. Well, it's complicated. We just never have made it final. And I said, oh, so is that her that Stacy? Yeah, she's being a pain in the ass. I said, no, you and her are not going to be a pain in my ass. And I get up and left. That's another date that I walked out on.